Alright everyone, let's talk about the one hero in Overwatch 2 right now that will improve your gameplay across the board. After all my time playing the Overwatch 2 beta and from launch up until now, the one hero that I would suggest for everyone to try out to get better at the game would be Ashe. And wait a second. Even if you don't play DPS or you're not interested in playing Ashe, I really feel like she is a very valuable character to at least take a look at, especially when it comes to her fundamentals. So let's talk about some of them. Number one is aiming, and that's a given, but she is a very unique character. She is a sniper character, an up-close character, a mid-range character, and that's very valuable in Overwatch 2. There's not many characters like that. Ashe specifically has an ability for almost every situation you could find yourself in, and I'm not claiming that she's perfect, but I do want to take a look at her aim specifically before we tackle anything else. I've been playing her a ton recently, and not only is she increasing my accuracy with her specifically, she's also increasing my accuracy with every other hero across the board. I find her very balanced right now. The damage that she does with her primary fire is significant, and it makes a big difference if you can actually land those scope shots. And Ashe is particularly unique when it comes to aiming down sights. She's able to do this at a medium distance, unlike snipers like Widowmaker and Ana. And that form of aiming feels really good for practicing your aim across the board. You're able to get a good line of sight when it comes to characters that bounce around, which in return will give you a really good practice setup in every match that you play to get better at general aiming. And as you all know from playing Overwatch, there are some heroes that are geared more towards attacking rather than defending, or defending rather than attacking. But Ashe can find a spot in both of these categories. And that's because every single ability is interchangeable. They work for attacking and they work for defending, and every ability all focuses around her primary fire. Let's talk about her first ability, Coach Gun, and let's talk about positioning. Positioning is something that you work on with every hero that you play, and Ashe is no different. To use her gun effectively, you need to be in a good spot on the map to get a clear line of sight so that you're able to get good value when you're trying to dish out as much damage as you can. And Ashe's Coach Gun is built to help your positioning, which in return helps your primary fire. You're able to bounce yourself towards enemies when you need to get in close, or bounce them away and bounce yourself away, or reach a high position on the map. It also deals a decent amount of damage if you can get close to the enemy when you use this to bounce yourself away. It's a ridiculous ability that has so many uses, it's crazy. And this is a perfect moment to touch on Ashe's alternative fire. If you need to get up close and personal and dish out a massive amount of damage to a tank or a character that is right in front of you, then using her alternative fire would be your best bet. And let's not forget that the Coach Gun will help you get closer to enemies to deal damage this way, and it will help you get further away so you can deal damage from a distance. So now's the perfect time to point out that we haven't even touched on her second ability or her ultimate ability, and everything that you've done so far all helps out your general aiming. And like I said at the beginning of this video, everything that we just covered concerning Ashe will help out your gameplay across the board. And it doesn't particularly pertain to her accuracy or aiming in general, but her playstyle as a whole definitely increases this overall above anything else. Okay, so now let's talk about Ashe's second ability, Dynamite. This ability is unlike a lot of other abilities. It has a very high skill cap, and what I mean by that is to activate this ability effectively, you have to be good with your aim. And yes, when you throw out the Dynamite, if you don't move your reticle and you just shoot a bullet, it will set the Dynamite off. But more often than not, you might need to use Dynamite in a different way to where you have to position yourself after you throw it and take a shot, which in return will then help you with positioning even more, not just for where you're standing, but for where you need to place your ability. And like I said at the beginning of this video, every ability here can be used offensively and defensively. If you're going in for the kill, you can throw your Dynamite out and finish them off. But if you need to use it defensively, you can throw it down at your feet and play around it. If you set it off near you and it does hit you, you will damage yourself, which in turn teaches you to play more effectively. It makes you think harder about when to use these abilities because they can impact you negatively when you use them improperly. And we can essentially say that about all abilities. If you don't use them properly, they're going to have a negative effect on you, but this one in particularly will damage you, and that is fairly unique when it comes to most other heroes in Overwatch. So at this point, I'm sure that you can all see the amount of experience that you can gain from playing Ashe, but we haven't covered her ultimate ability and how unique it actually is. To start off, when you throw Bob out, he damages enemies in front of you, but he also throws them up into the air so that you can get a clear shot with your primary fire. Once again, it all revolves around your aiming and your main weapon. And what makes Bob so unique in particular is that he is considered another player, which means also when you send him out, he is able to stall the point for you, in return allowing you to position yourself further away so that you can line up your shots effectively. So really, to me, there is no other hero right now that you should be playing if you're trying to gain experience in general to get better at the game overall. And I promise that all of this experience by playing this one specific character will also transfer over to the tank role and the support role. So if those are your main roles and you don't generally play DPS, I still suggest that you do this. I do think that it will benefit you and your mains in general. And of course, this is for console players and PC players. There's nothing that we discussed about Ashe that isn't relevant for both versions of the game. So go try out Ashe for a little while. She might be really frustrating in the beginning, but once you play her for a while and you get used to her, she's going to help your gameplay overall. But alright guys, those are my thoughts on Ashe, and that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to join our Discord if you're looking for more people to play with. The link's in the description. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Flash out.
You won't get the best of me.